Have you ever heard people on home improvement shows say they're gonna lay down some LVP? Well, today on the show, we'll talk about the tech behind LVP, or luxury vinyl plank. This is TechSpank. Now, you may be wondering why a tech and science show would be talking about flooring. Well, that's because there's a lot of tech inside these luxury vinyl planks. This all started because I recently decided I wanted to update the look of my apartment. I currently have hardwood parquet floors that were glued down in the 1950s. That means that underneath may be lurking asbestos or who knows what, and for sure removing it means expense. And I hate expense. After spending hours and hours reading reviews and looking at photos and videos online, I found a company called Flooret with loads of excited customers. People love this stuff. So I reached out and asked some questions, and I'd asked if they'd provide some flooring for this episode, and they agreed. I also love that I could install Flooret right over top of my existing parquet. That means down the line I could pull it up and go right back to what was there before if I wanted. But free or not, I wanted to make sure that I put good stuff down in my own home. Now, there are lots of brands out there, and I actually got samples from loads of them. Some had backing that was cork, some had what seemed to be felt, and some had a soft, rubber-like backing. The ones from Flooret have that rubber-like backing. They also come in a few different sizes, and the most affordable, and the one I'm using, is called Base. There is also a wider plank called Signature, one with skinny planks called Craftsman, and even a herringbone pattern. I'm guessing, if you're watching this, you know about most of this since I probably came up from a Google search. A little more about Flooret though. They have some great designers who work starting with photos of real wood. To help make sure that there are way fewer repeating planks, they make their designs around 1.5 times longer than other brands, and they have more than one design per color. When working with LVP, repeating patterns are a big, ugly problem. I'm happy to say that the way Flooret makes their planks, they've dealt with a lot of the problems, so you won't run into them like you would with stuff from the big hardware stores. Also, when they make the planks, they have something called embossed in register textures, which means you can actually feel the design printed on it, just like real wood. It's very cool. It also has a low sheen level, which gives it a sleek look, and a commercial grade wear layer. You'll hear about that a lot when you shop for LVP. A wear layer is the clear layer on top that you step on. Having a good thick wear layer like this means that those of you with dogs shouldn't have anything to worry about with scratches. Making up the middle part of each plank is something called a rigid SPC core. That stands for Stone Plastic Composite. It's super strong and durable, which is great. And finally, and most importantly, they say it has 100% waterproofing. That waterproofing is important to me since I have solid wood underneath and I want to protect it while covering it up. But remember, this means that the LVP itself is waterproof. If you have some sort of leak in your wall that somehow goes under the floor and gets to your subfloor, that subfloor might warp and push up on the LVP. It's way more durable than wood, but it's not invincible. Anyway, thanks to Flooret for not just sending me the products, but also for putting up with all my questions. There's a million brands out there sold all over the place. Now, the only place to get Flooret is directly from them, which I kind of like, because that means you know who to go to if you need help with anything. They have live support dedicated to flooring. Okay, so now that we know all that we could ever want to know about LVP and Flooret, I mean luxury vinyl planks, it's time to lay this stuff down and see how it holds up. For that, you'll have to watch the next episode. Oh, and this is super important. If you're thinking of putting this in your own homes, I highly suggest you get samples of everything to see it in person. Check out the colors and feel the texture, the size of each board. I completely changed my mind on which color I wanted after seeing it in person, compared to what I thought it would look like from the photos online. Now, after way too much thinking, I ended up going with Lotto Base. Now, to get your samples at 50% off, use my code TechSpankFLOORET at checkout. There's a link down in the description of this video. All that's left to do now is to get to work. Until next time, I'm James Papadopoulos. Thanks for watching.